Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey Chris, here we are, episode 27, series 2 of Love Island USA. And you know what, Chris? It's the most wonderful time of the year. And you know why that is, Chris? Because you fucking nailed a prediction. You got it right on the money. So no, it's not about the fat bloke coming down the chimney. You fucking nailed it, mate. Well done to you, sir.
Dave, what can I say? You know, it's not very often I take the applause and I can hear the crowd now all cheering for me. Chris, you have done 1 in 500 predictions correct, mate. And I'm more than happy, Dave, because Johnny asked Sally in the most ridiculous James Bond ceremony, which we haven't actually seen yet, to be fair, but they've all got dressed up like fucking James Bond or like they're going to a wedding. I know it's for the show, but it's utter bullshit. Nobody does that in real life. I keep saying it. I'm glad my predictions come true, Dave, because it was so obvious. Johnny's the bad boy. His head turns a little bit, and then he's like, holy shit, what am I going to do? I know. Let's erase all the memory of me being a cheating fucking control freak, and I'll ask this with my girlfriend, and Sally's going to lap it all up, Dave. Oh,
yeah. Now, I must give you a fair bit of credit here, because I obviously, tongue-in-cheek, I do take the piss out of some of your predictions, because a lot of your predictions, you don't play the safe option, do you? You fucking swing for the fences a lot of the time. So that's why I think the majority of them don't come off. But the one that impressed me the most was Labour of Love. And I know a lot of listeners might not have watched that, but you know, it was a show about, it's kind of like The Bachelor, only, or like The Bachelorette, only The Bachelorette gets impregnated at the end of it. And you called it probably about 3 or 4 episodes from the end, and that she wouldn't actually go through with it and end up with any of them. I think your precise words were something like, she's not going to get with any of these fuckers.
I'm not from Yorkshire, Dave.
Buy it, lad. It's all fake, this is.
We still follow her actually on Instagram, and there's stuff about empowering women and that. And fair enough that she did the right thing, not picking it. Is it what's it called, Christy? She did the right thing. Yeah, she did the right thing in the end, because you should never ever bring a child into this world, Dave. But there was no chance of anybody even attempting to impregnate her, which sounds really crude. I apologize, but that was the nature of the show. And if you haven't watched it, it's readily available, and we've got the whole show by show. We did 8 episodes, didn't we, Dave, of that? And it was a great thing to watch, but by the end of it, we were just off the train. It was like, this is fucking nonsense. You know what, Dave? I've not seen something so polished since it's been mother-in-law's fucking dining table, and she polishes every day with the old fucking duster. It was ridiculous. It was absolute shit on toast. But anyway.
I'm not going to come up with the obvious euphemism for polishing stuff, so let's move on quickly from that one. So, Chris, we got at the start of the episode, we had, you know, the fallout from what we saw yesterday. So we had the 2 new girls, so it was Lakin and, what's the other one's name?
I was going to say that. I know Lakeland for some reason.
Lakin, and I got it written down in my other notes. Oh, for fuck's sake. Just bear with me. I'll go to yesterday's notes. Lakin, Julia.
Julia, I think it was Jay. I thought it was Jay, yeah.
So, yeah,
Julia.
They come in and, yeah, they set the boys' pulses racing, don't they?
A few peaches going down there, David, them dancing, I'm telling you. The girls made me laugh because they're all like, you know, all the girls are stunning anyway, aren't they? The current contestants anyway. But yeah, there's nothing like a bit of new blood to come in to stir the shit up. Well, let's be honest, Dave. They're in the Nevada desert. It's a absolute scorching 40-degree heat, right? And I can guarantee, Dave, that there will be plenty of rattlesnakes and ding cobras. There'll be all sorts in that fucking desert, but there's nothing more snaky than fucking Carrington, is there? What an absolute like that. What an absolute snaky bastard he is. He's a slimy fucker. And if he could actually eat himself, he would, because he fucking loves himself, and he has no concept of his surroundings, what he's doing to Laurel. I understand Lakeland's coming in, put a bit on him, and Laurel had said it's been 2 weeks. He's finally come out. He's got an autistic nephew. his family. You know, his mum's been married 3 times. I'm thinking, well, hello. I think your son's probably going to be the fucking same as well, Mrs. fucking Carrington Senior. He's going to be an absolute disaster area if he's not careful.
I think we saw. Right, I'll try and go the opposite way. So I think I know where you're coming from. We saw a little bit of the Carrington that we saw in Casa Amor, didn't we? You know, I thought he was playing it a bit safe when he came back with Laurel. Fuck's sake, can never quite nail that. So he came back, and I thought, right, he's just going to see this through right to the end and have a go at the prize money. But his head is definitely turned, isn't it? And
Yeah.
it does seem your heart goes out to Laurel because she does seem like a genuine sort of pretty sweet girl. But you're right, he fucking loves himself, doesn't he? Absolutely, 100%. And the girls, obviously taking a shine to him. They said, I think it was Julia. He wasn't in his he wasn't at the top of her list. But then when she came in, and I've got to say, he did look good, didn't he? In the old strippers, kind of bit of a Richard Gere kind of thing, or Maverick from Top Gun kind of look. If he had no shirt and pants on,
The volleyball team, Dave.
exactly. So yeah, he seemed to have a bit of chat with them, and I thought it was a little bit weird, really, because obviously Laurel's spent like a couple of weeks with him now, and I thought it was particularly uncomfortable when the new girls, so Lakin and Julia, were chatting away. They're putting on the makeup there, talking about Carrington, and I'm thinking, all right, it's the first day for you, but Laurel's literally just sat right there. I thought it was pretty insensitive, to be honest.
Yeah, these two have come in, Dave. They might turn out to be great contestants, but they're doing the old classic producer. Go in there. And Lakeland already said, I don't care about friendships. I'm here to find love. And it's like, right, okay, I'm sure you are. I don't know if she said such a deep voice as that day, but anyway, she did, she did
Like
find love.
Les
She
Dawson.
tried it. Yeah, yeah. But they take Carrington on a date, which for me, Dave, he must have been fucking, oh my God. He must have been like a dog with two dicks when he absolutely thought he was fucking the business. They take him out, this lovely, beautiful setting. This reminds me of home. And honestly, Dave, he has got no allegiance. And I just think now, I give him a bit of slack a few episodes ago, said maybe he's been a nice guy. He's not. He's just going to ruin and wreck Laurel's heart. And I think she needs to get off that train now. And you probably do it to Lakeland, Dave. I don't think we're going to see any more girls coming in at this present time. I just can't see it with only a few episodes left. But
No, no.
he's just an absolute slime ball for me. I'm sorry, anyone who likes him out there. I'm off that one, Dave.
So I'm not going to quite be as harsh as you on him. I don't think. So I think he's a bit of a knob, which is not something we like on this side of the ocean, is it? Like when he's like, oh, I wonder if anyone's had as many dates as me on the history of the show. It's like fuck off. So yeah, it's just like we like people to be a bit understated, don't we? And humble, I think, is the word I'm probably looking for. But I tell you what was interesting out of the old heart rate stripper game is Calvin got Laurel's heart racing the most. And
Mm.
so, Laurel was confiding in Calvin. And she obviously, a couple of episodes ago, she had the opportunity to pick Calvin. She didn't. She decided to stick with Carrington. But I think there might be something there. And I tell you what else, Chris, speaking of Calvin, old Moira, she's obviously got a bit, felt a bit threatened with the new girls coming in, doesn't she? So decides to stick it on Calvin in the bed that night.
Yeah, I mean, Dave. Look, I'm trying not to be thingy, but that's just fucking desperado stuff, in it. You
Yeah.
know, it's like have some respect for yourself, and that's not me being an idiot as a bloke and just being like from a male perspective. It's so fucking transparent, and at the end of the day, we've cut her a lot of slack because she's just not found the right person and that. But to do that, and I don't think that's fair on one. Calvin's a fool because he's just gone. Oh well, then fuck it, let's go for it.
Do
But
you,
then
do
he
you
doesn't
think?
really think.
Do you think he's a fool? Because he sort of said in the diary room, didn't he? He knew exactly what was going on.
No, no, but what I mean is, Dave, if I'm trying to word it right. He was a fool for the simple reason was, yeah, you know what he was doing. He's like, oh well, I'll give you a bit of a snog and all that. But he called it out. But it's like you have no feelings for Moira. But then Moira could then turn around and go, well, I say what, he snogged me. Knowing the way she is, she'll go, that's me and Calvin done, and we're going to get another load of fucking tears. We're going to have to get the Andrex out and all that, and she's going to be disappointed again. She just needs to go, Dave. She's got to go for me.
Yeah, I mean, I said she has to go yesterday. I think it was a roll of the dice, wasn't it? She's trying to get a clause in. Now there's going to be some girls probably left. There's going to be a recoupling probably, and then there's going to be people leaving the villa, no doubt. So I don't know. I think she made the only play that she could probably make. But when we're sat at home watching it all, it's like, oh, it's fucking so transparent. You've been borderline lukewarm to him, since pre-Casa Amor. I tell you what, Chris, she's good value for some of these facial expressions as well. She doesn't have a poker face, does she?
No, she doesn't. She doesn't.
No, what,
I
what?
love her eyes.
Yeah, they were popping out at one point, weren't they?
Yeah.
But I mean, what did you make to the actual dates themselves with Carrington?
They're about as superficial as he is and the girls are. I wasn't convinced by any of that fucking bollocks. It was just nonsense, wasn't it? They're making a play. They've got to keep him in there. I found it odd that it was both of them picked him. They both like him. They both like a bit of who he is. But it's like, well, he's saying he's a family guy and all this, and then he's telling poor Laurel, well, there's something interesting about it. Yeah, yeah, no problem. And Laurel puts it on him. And I mean, Laurel was a fucking wreck once. She just kept
Mm,
crying every time she mentioned it. So it's part of the game. I'm not being too ridiculous and getting engrossed in it because they probably will never speak to each other again. They might like a bit of Instagram fucking stuff after this show. But for this moment in time, I just think Carrington's just making another mistake. If he does get with her, and he lives happily ever after, Dave, I will eat my fucking hat because he's just not interested in any of these people. He's just a absolute. I think he's a narcissist, if I'm being honest, Dave.
who isn't
I've
in
gone
there?
heavy in. Well, yeah, I was going to say that. I think all of them are. Have you seen Moira do the same thing? I'm like, you not done the same thing, but by putting it on Calvin, I lost a bit of respect for her there, Dave. I know it's desperation, but are you that thing you want to stay in there and subject yourself to more pain because another guy's going to reject you?
Yeah. It didn't come across well for her, but we'll see where that goes. Like I say, Calvin wasn't daft. He could see exactly what was happening there. I just felt like that whole double date thing was just so awkward. Like I say, I didn't like the way Carrington was. He was getting ready, and they're all calling him the date guy, and he's fucking loving it. Being up his own arse, and but literally they were like 10 yards away from each other, so can hear everything. And when Lakin walks across and she's like, oh, can I interrupt you and whatever, there's no way you've not got a producer behind her just poking her saying, go and interrupt them kind of thing. So it,
Yeah,
it was all a
exactly.
bit forced.
Exactly. Now, Dave, you're right, and you are right. But Dave, why don't we talk about my magnificent prediction, which just came to fruition? You've talked it and bigged me up at the start of the show. I am riding on cloud nine. Let's talk about the Johnny Selly announcement. And we didn't get to see it properly, but the will she won't she? She's obviously going to. And we get the whole thing there. And I'm thinking, Selly, you're going to make a damn good mistake here, girl, because this guy is going to absolutely break your heart. I just don't see it now, Dave. I'm well off this train completely.
Yeah. Well, I guess I wasn't. I mean, given that, like you say, no one's going to do this in the real world. Fucking even when you propose, you might go half of the way that they're going here. The flip side to it is they're stuck in the villa. What else are they going to do? You know?
Yeah, true.
Boredom must be a factor in there for sure. But yeah, you're right, and I don't know why I couldn't see it. I just felt that Sally had just gone past the point and had to pick Benny. But she's decided she'll believe his half of the story. Not quite sure why, but I guess she's just taken that leap of faith. And then we get the old, I'm going to set you up as a butler and this, that, and the other, and everyone's in on it. And then we're going to see that tomorrow night, aren't we? But
Yeah.
yeah, I was sat at home thinking, oh, fucking hell, he's nailed it.
And Dave, just to back that up, we've had an email saying the same thing, and I am going to take great pleasure in reading this one
I'm
out,
sure
Mr.
you
Horrocks.
are.
This is from our great friend, and I've got to say, after reading this email, and we've had some fantastic emails from people, we've had all sorts of stuff, Dave, but Lorraine has sent in the best email of the series, Dave, and it's simply entitled, Chris hit the jackpot. Hi, guys. So much tea to spill. Carrington is so arrogant and he's such a player. He is so shallow. Shallow?
Cheryl.
Shallow. Cheryl? That's it. Cheryl and Laurel. He is so shallow, and Laurel is far too good for him. He was lapping up the attention going on the double date in front of Laurel. He talks bullshit and he's there for the sole purpose of fueling his ego. Eagle? Fucking ego. It's a great email if I can read it right. Game player 2020. Freckles and Moira are cringeworthy to watch. The faces, you said, Moira pulls, and the bulging wide open eyes are very entertaining, but they both need to go. I am over the Johnny and Sally train. He's a dick and revealed his true colours in Casa Amor and thereafter. Wake up, Sally. Now, Dave, this is the most fantastic part of the email, okay? Wait, Chris, you hit the jackpot. You hit the Vegas jackpot with your prediction. Wish I had put money on it. The boyfriend-girlfriend Vegas show was so predictable and he's so transparent and so producer-led. We've seen this scenario on Love Island UK, Australia, now USA. It's, again, gameplay in 2020. The most genuine person on this show is Justine, but the verdict is still out on Caleb. As a side note, and Dave will roll his eyes at this is another great part of the email, but on Chris's recommendation, I've started watching Selling Sunset on Netflix, and I'm loving it. Dave, you need to join us on this one. Loving your work, guys. Your podcast is the best, Lorraine. P.S. Get Dave on Selling Sunset. No, she doesn't say that, but we need to get you on Selling Sunset. Dave, there's been 3 series. I've been reading stuff about the 4th series. It's all kicking off, but I can't talk to you about it because you don't know any of the characters. Dave, get on it, my friend. It's fantastic. And you've had another, this is the 2nd email of the series about Selling Sunset.
I know.
Dave, I'm telling you, we're going to have to do a little episode here, aren't we?
Well, it's just so different, isn't it? The dating reality shows that we normally do, but at some point, I'll give it another go. I think, to be honest, I still had a sour taste in my mouth from that other one you put me on to.
Cheshire Housewives.
That's Housewives of Cheshire. I think I gave that one longer, but then probably carried over some of the bitterness in Selling Sunset as well. So, yeah.
The Chris Felt dartboard had another fucking hole in it. You wanker. There you go.
Is this shit that he watches?
And you're not wrong, Dave. So, Dave, we've had a review, I believe.
We absolutely have. And this one isn't from James in Florida. This one is from Baleen in the US. And it says, subject, the missing source. Love Island USA is fun to watch, but you can't deny it's missing that special something you get from the UK version. The solution is this podcast, the UK charm, humour and accents, plus a pretty hilarious duo to deliver it. The special sauce on Love Island Sunday. Best consumed together if you're looking for the fanny flutters. Now, Chris, what do you reckon to that review?
Fuck you, Dave. I ain't got a clue what to say, Dave. Luckily, you deal with all our personal DMs.
Honestly, I'm rubbish. I go all Hugh Grant when people start talking like that. You go a bit fumbly and British about it. But no,
someone said we had good accents, Dave. I mean, I think I'm as common as muck, and probably most people you'll agree with that, Dave. But yeah, it must be just a transatlantic thing. I don't know, but interesting because Lauren, when she come in the show, they all love the British accent. So
she's posh Oxford, though, isn't she? We're a bit of northern rough. But
yeah, we're just a pair of scumbags. Basically. Let's be honest.
No, absolutely brilliant. So really appreciate that, Baleen. And Chris, yeah, you know what? This is episode 27, obviously, and you know we haven't got many episodes left, and you know we're nearly there. We're nearly there at the end. So, I mean, let's just do a quick sanity check. I mean, after this revelation, after this play, you know, will you be my girlfriend kind of thing? Has that altered how you think the final might go?
No, because I tell you what's going to happen now, Dave, and I'm going to put another prediction out, and I want Lorraine to send another email in saying Chris has hit the fucking accumulative jackpot in Vegas. Caleb's going to ask Justine to be his girlfriend, Dave, because he's thinking, "Oh fuck, we're going to lose this," so he's going to do the same now.
He- Yeah, and I'm not going to disagree with you after you've
Yeah,
just nailed
Dave.
one, but from tonight, what did you reckon of Caleb and Justine's chat? Because they were chatting a bit more. Justine was saying, she falls quickly for people, and then, I think she was saying like, she wants to kind of hold him and hug him and kiss him, basically be affectionate with him, but when he doesn't initiate that, she feels a bit sort of let down. It felt like to me, I think Justine and Caleb have been, the top couple for probably a couple of weeks now, probably since Casa Amor.
Yeah,
But
I
tonight, I don't think was their best episode.
No, it's funny, because like Lorraine, there's a few people she said about Caleb. There's a few people question Caleb, and I've not seen it. I've seen him as a bit of a voice of reason. The only thing that I wasn't thinking was when he did the old Johnny did nothing wrong, Your Honour. When he
Mm.
was being quizzed about it, he completely lied to Justine, which I'm sure if they're still together outside the villa, that she will maybe pull him up on. But he did bullshit there to stick with his boy, which is quite difficult in this situation, knowing that somewhere along the line she's going to see it because you're on TV. So yeah, I don't know, Dave. There is little cracks, but this better not be the play for Selly and Johnny to win. Selly deserves to win, but Johnny certainly doesn't. Maybe we should just give Justine and Selly the win, Dave. They're the best two in there, I think.
Yeah, that's a good shout, actually. Yeah, I don't know. And I think didn't Caleb's heart start racing the most with Laurel? And he was like, oh, yeah, yeah, it's just a surprise kind of thing.
Yeah, it was actually because I think Freckles was Selly, wasn't it as well?
Yeah,
So
yeah, that
yeah, yeah,
came out of
Freckles.
nowhere, didn't it, actually?
Well, he did. That was, and he was laughing. They all took it in good spirits. I tell you what, though, Dave, just thinking about the final, as you say, as we're coming towards the end, in the next week or so, I'm telling you now, you know what I want, Dave? What do I want in the final? I've been asking for this since the start, and
Someone to run
nobody,
off with the money.
yeah, nobody's got the bollocks to do it. So, anyone from the US who's started tuning in this series, what they can do if you've not seen the first one and the UK ones is when they get to the final, the two people who win it outright. There's the vote, and great, we have the fucking fanfare. But one of them, they both get envelopes, and one has the money in, which is £50,000 in the UK, which is probably about $70,000 in the US. I don't know what the prize money is for the US this year,
I think it's
and then
100K, I
is it
think. I
100K?
think
So it's
so,
about
yeah.
it's more than the UK. Then it's about £70,000. So they get to choose then whether they share it with the partner. And I am dying for somebody to get the money, and they think they're going to go right. I'm keeping that. See you all. Have a great time. I'm going to put it on black down there on the roulette table and fuck off with it, Dave. It's got to be the best bit of TV ever on Love Island. I would love that to happen. I really, as long and you know what I would like, Dave. Let's think of it like this: if Carrington Laurel won it, which is fucking that's like the biggest. You know me, I like to bet on gambles, Dave. On ridiculous bets and that. If they won it and Laurel took all the money and fucking Mr. Ego Man just fucking stood there with his comb in his hand, combing his hair and flexing him, and he's like, "Oh, I thought we were together." And he's like, "Yeah, see you, pal. I'm on my way with me 100 grand." I'd love that, Dave.
I was having a drink when the episode was on, so my head was down, like, so I took my eyes off the screen very briefly, and I thought I couldn't work out if he was. I looked back up, and I couldn't work out if he was combing his hair or his eyebrows. I was I was thinking, are you fucking combing your eyebrows? But if he was, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, fucking hell, the amount of time he spends in the mirror. But I mean, we're just jealous, really, aren't we, Chris?
Yeah, I used to look. I didn't look like that, Dave, but I wasn't far off at one point, and I definitely don't look like that now. So yeah, we probably are just being jealous.
I tell you what, though, for more plausible, for more realistic, I think Carrington might just fucking. Carrington would be the more likely out of that pairing to just say, right, I'm taking the money, or maybe Caleb, because he's so stoic, isn't he? Most of the time, I've been bought into Justine and Caleb for a while now, but because a lot of people are saying it's just planted a seed of doubt in my mind, and because he is so chilled and he's quite, he says very little, but takes in a lot, and he's calculating in his head. It could just be that it's all a ruse, and then he's just at the final. He's like, "Screw you, motherfuckers! I had you all fucking over." But no, I don't think that's likely to happen. The reason it's never going to happen, Chris, and here's my prediction, is you would make yourself the absolute fucking villain of the whole country and well, the whole Love Island watching part of the country. So I just don't think anyone would do that. A lot of these reality shows, all right, to win it is great, but quite often, it's the people who finish runner up and stuff. They still end up with some kind of career outside of it, maybe in media. Look at the likes of. So I was speaking to someone about Ollie Murs, Ollie Murs last night. He didn't win. Was it Britain's Got Talent, X Factor, whichever one it was that he was in? But because he was such a personality, he's ended up making a decent career out of it. So I think, if that prediction comes, that will be your best prediction ever.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Amazing. I'll ride off into Vegas, Dave, definitely. But no, another cracker, Mr. Horrocks. And like Lorraine, if you want to send in another complimentary email to myself, guys, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. You can send Dave one, but I like to, take them and read them and, cherish the emails, Dave. And then if you want to follow us on social media, @cdrealitycast for Instagram and Twitter. And as always, drop us a review. We love the reviews, and we'll read them out on the show. So Dave, amazing, my friend, and I'm going to go off and have another cup of coffee and read that email from Moira, because I am the prediction man today, my friend.
Awesome, Chris. Well, normally I say I can't wait for tomorrow's episode, but given the cliffhanger we left on tonight, I can probably wait for tomorrow's episode now. But we'll be back again tomorrow, obviously, and hopefully there'll be another bit of drama after all the mushy stuff.
Bye.
Bye now.